Greetings. My name is Dr. Waddell Brooks, Sr., your host, and this is Community Focused. We're very fortunate today to have a unique program. We're talking with McKinnley Joe Blow from Inglewood, California, and his occupation is a world traveler. Good morning, Joe.
Good morning, Mr. Brooks.
Joe, it's been a while since you left Illinois. Lake County is approximately, 780,000 people. But I don't know how many up at 5 o'clock this morning listening to the show, but I understand we have a great audience. And we'll give you the website and also the call-in and where you can watch it when it airs. But I'd like for you to tell us, what piqued your interest to become a world traveler?
Well, I guess it came by, I wouldn't say accident. I guess it came by exposure. Goes back to when I was a little kid, growing up in North Carolina. In fact, my family alone was well separated. I was a kid, and they lived in different places around the USA. Some in New Jersey, Ohio, and New York, and Michigan.
Okay.
And then there were two of us that was from the family lived in North Carolina that we grew up in foster home. So, but the rest of the family had moved away to those places that I just mentioned. Also, my sister, she also was living in Connecticut. So, when my brother went into service in the Korean War, I was there, could say alone. It was like a rock to me when I was coming up. And so he left in March of that year. And in September the same year, another brother of mine came down from New Jersey to visit North Carolina in the town of Greenville. So he came out to see me where I was staying at this foster home, and we talked about a few things and so forth. And then the next thing I knew, I was in his car going back to New Jersey. I was only a young kid, maybe about 14, 15 years old. And then from there, I stayed there a while and came back to North Carolina. Then I left again New York and came back again and left next time and went to Ohio and Michigan and also on the Long Island of New York. But see, during those days, I didn't have no idea that traveling was in me. It was something that I was just doing as a youngster. So as time went by and I became an adult, and I left the Greenville, North Carolina, per se, for good, where I was living in Illinois. My brother was stationed there in the armed services, and that's where he received his discharge, and so he decided to stay at that location. And so I never thought about it, travel anywhere during that time. I guess was a lot of reasons, new town, a young kid, and no finances and so forth. But I often thought about it, and I used to go around those travel offices and look at the photos and so forth and so on. And so I guess once I did make an adjustment in life and moved to California, and I guess it was the timing, I guess, that when I really started reading about traveling, so I decided to go to places. So earlier places that I went to was San Juan and a couple cruises and also Nassau and the Bahamas.
Wow.
But that was all in the, you could say, in not the States, but all on the North American continent, you say.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the limited time. So finally, I started reading about different countries, and I read the first country that I read about was Brazil. I studied about the country, studied about the politics, studied about the economy, and so forth. And I didn't go anywhere blind. Places that I did go, I always read about them and had an idea of what I was going into. And so that's how I started international travel. That was September of 1984.
So all this was planned then. All your trips were planned. You just didn't go into it blindly.
I mean, all my travel trips. Oh yeah, they were. They were planned. Yeah, they were planned. I never did just jump up and go anyplace. No,
okay.
That never have been me. I always like to see what I'm getting into. In fact, I give you an example. There was two football players. They both played for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they were both running backs back in the 70s. I think one name was Franco Harris, and one name was Rocky Blyer.
Okay.
And so they asked to compare the two running backs. So this guy said, well, if there's a big stone wall, Rocky Blyer, he'll try to run through it.
Okay.
But Franco Harris, he's going to go check the wall out and see how long it is, see how many bricks it is, and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the example I use about going to places. You see, in other words, you study about it, you see what's actually is happening. So that was in September in 1984,
mm-hmm.
and I haven't missed a year going overseas since.
Wow.
So that's how I got started, you could say.
Now I know you make several trips to Thailand. How did you get in to love Thailand? That's almost an annual trip.
Well, one reason why, I guess, because I know I was back in the years when I was at, I guess I'm still working. There was the early years at a place that I worked for. I ran into a guy that just came back from Thailand, and I never really seen anyone that up till then that was so impressed. Every time he talked about it, you could see the light in his eyes as he was explaining it and so forth. He loved it so much, the economy, the people, and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
And then he gave me a couple of magazines. And then another thing, where I live, our earlier manager, his wife was from Thailand.
Oh.
And so I got the chance to really talk to her a lot about it and learn about the culture and the food and so forth and so on. So back in the 80s, a lot of the foreign countries, especially in Southeast Asia, was found a foundation in LAX. They wanted to really travel to LAX and fly out of LAX. They saw how fast that Los Angeles was growing during that time.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of your airlines in Southeast Asia were given what you call promotional deals.
Mm-hmm.
And the first one that I did receive, it wasn't from Southeast Asia. It was from Europe. Mm-hmm. I had gone to Brazil in '84, and then in early '85, in the middle of winter in Europe, I read this article about. I've heard about this country also, other than Thailand. Mm-hmm. But getting back to Thailand, after I had met her and got to know her culture a little bit, in '86, Malaysia Airlines, they started flying out of LAX gave what they call a 7-day package. Stop in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. There's still a night there. Then you leave there and go to Bangkok, Thailand, stay for 4 days, and then come back to Malaysia, then come back to the USA.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember when I was on the flight from Malaysia to Thailand, which only take about an hour, maybe no more than an hour and a half.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw how ambitious the hostess were. I mean, giving us, oh my goodness, wine and everything, like we were just in a really high-class, first-class lounge or something. And then I was so impressed. And so then after I went there for the first time, I really was impressed. And,
Mm-hmm.
that was in March of 87. That's when that was, March of 87. And so when I got back to the States, I started reading about it again. So, but I was going other places. Then we get to my first trip to Europe, which was, I guess, about, that was in March of 87. I guess my first trip to Europe was in February of 85. There was another package that was given by Scandinavian Airlines to Copenhagen, Denmark. And I've heard about that, so forth. And, then, too, a lot of times that when you go places, you meet other people that have gone places. And during the time that I was making those reservations through travel agency, I always wanted to talk to someone that have been there themselves. They have experienced the trip themselves. Mm-hmm. I remember when I took my first trip from here to Thailand, not any place else, just to Thailand. It was, in fact, Thai Airways International did not fly from LAX during those days. They first was flying from Dallas, then Chicago, then Seattle. For the first time that I flew to Thailand directly, I flew out of Seattle, Washington.
Oh, okay.
Then I talked to the travel agent, and she was telling me that, I asked her, has she ever been? She said, yes, she said, I've been there about 7 times in 18 months, you see.
Wow.
Yeah, I said, what? She said, yes. She said, this is your second time, but you'll be back.
Mm-hmm.
I never get those words. She said, you will be back. And so since then, I went there, and I think that was 87. Yeah, it was 87.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next time, I went to a place that was called, I wanted to extend it. So I had a little trip to, this was quite, all this time I was getting a lot of experience.
That's right.
Because really, when I went on my next trip from LAX, I flew on Air New Zealand Airlines.
Mm-hmm.
And that particular package was from LAX to Hawaii to Tahiti and
wow.
Fiji and into Sydney.
Mm-hmm.
And so then on the way back, stopped in New Zealand. And what was so amazing about that trip was that we left at 10:30 at night out of LAX, arrived in Honolulu the next morning about 5 o'clock. It was still dark.
Mm-hmm.
And then once they picked up passengers in the Honolulu, we went back against the sun, which made me fly 2 nights before I saw daylight. That was quite an experience.
Right.
and then on the way back from New Zealand to Hawaii, we left at 8:30 on a Wednesday night and arrived in Honolulu by 8:30 the same day that Wednesday morning. So that was really an experience. My head was really turning around because the time seemed to have gone backwards. I stood still.
Mm-hmm.
So that's giving you a little sample of how I got into it. And after I had travel a lot of places. Just like people when they find their favorite restaurant,
Mm-hmm.
they find their favorite place they like to go to. Well, travel the same way. You after you travel for a while and look at the places and look at the history of it, and especially in Europe, it's all the same.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I still think that Europe is very excuse me. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
I think Europe is very interesting. I think people are missing a lot if they never have been to Europe, because the history alone is fascinating, and then you learn more about our heritage in Europe than you do it right here in the States. Talking about Africa, you learn more about Africa in Europe than you do here in the States. I was amazed when I went to London.
Mm-hmm.
Went into the big library there. I mean, goodness, had all the literature you want about Africa.
Wow.
Did it here, you see? So we learn a lot about our own history when we go to places in Europe and so forth.
Yeah, I had a chance to travel. I was a member of the North Chicago Rotary Club, and the International Convention was in Birmingham, England. And so the wife and I...
Speak up, please. Yeah, speak up.
Okay. The wife and I flew into Heathrow Airport. And,
I can't hardly hear you. You got to speak up.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, I'll just speak from right here. The wife and I flew to Heathrow Airport, and we went to Birmingham, England. And while we were there, we took a short flight to France. We went to Paris, France. And so that's why we got a chance to do the traveling by being a member of the Rotary International Convention. And we found it, went to the Eiffel Tower, and different places. But your trips are planned, and tell us about your, of course, first of all, ladies and gentlemen, I want to remind you we're talking with McKinnley Joe Blow, a former resident of Lake County. And he's living in Inglewood, California now, and part of his vacation, he's a world traveler. And tell us about world traveling. Joe, you never retire from traveling then, right?
No, I don't intend to. No, I don't intend to. It's just like, I guess you could say it's the artistry that's in me, I guess. It's something that I always do.
Uh-huh.
Like, I guess you could say that it's my main priority, other than household responsibilities and so forth.
Okay.
And then the next financial exposure is traveling, you see. So... and I will continue to do it as long as I'm able. I'm glad that I did do a lot of it when I was much younger. A lot of places that I went to, especially in Europe, a lot of places I went to when I was younger, I don't think I could take it now with all the hills and mountains.
And what I was concerned about, too, though, is you don't travel in a group. You travel on your own then, right?
Oh, yeah, on my own. Yes, I travel alone. Mm-hmm. Yes, because, Mr. Brooks, I found out that it's hard for two minds, especially human minds, to think the same on the same subject.
Okay.
If I can explain that a little better. But I give you an example. Take, for instance, say if I'm with someone, and then we're at a place, and that particular time I might want to go one place.
Okay.
And my companion might want to go another place.
Okay.
And that's where compromising comes in, you see. See, by me going alone, I don't have to do that.
Right. The wife and I traveled with another couple driving out west, and we got to Missoula, Montana, and they wanted to sleep in a tent Well, you know, one night in a tent was it for us. We went to a hotel while they stayed in a tent. And they didn't like it too well because they said we're traveling together, you know, and this is an experience we wanted together. But we just couldn't handle that tent. So I know exactly what you talked about.
That's right, and so then too, and also with traveling, when you're alone, you don't have to compromise. You don't have to explain anything. You do it without reservations, without any reservations.
You know what? You must have a wide collection of pictures, videos, and albums too, right?
Oh yes. In fact, I've been looking around for a place now in my museum, that the people call it my apartment, but most people they come in, they call it a museum.
Okay.
I have my albums. During those earlier years, when I was doing all that traveling, I was also taught photography.
Oh.
A co-worker of mine, he was a photographer. He taught me photography, and I still got the camera, 35 millimeter, a Canon.
Okay.
I had the exchangeable lens and everything. And so I did take a lot of pictures, and I have albums that date back to early 80s. And sometimes I pick up one and go look through it. It's really amazing. And I have it. And they're mostly large albums. So I'm trying to get a place in my apartment where I can bring them out of the linen closet and put them on a shelf, so to speak, you see. And then what I used to do, like I said, everything was timing. Everything was going great because of my job during that time when I did a lot of traveling in different countries, which was in the 80s and 90s.
Mm-hmm.
We had photography service through a contractor.
Mm-hmm.
And they would come out and do development for us at a discount price of our job. And you could also get a photo blown up to 8x10 and 8x12 for less than $2.
Mm.
So what I did, I went through my albums, my picture albums, and highlighted a lot of the places. And then those were the photos that I had blown up in 8x10.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the ones that I put on the wall, you see. And plus I have a big world map also on the wall. And then when I look up there now, being here every day, you don't notice that much until someone come in. Then that's the first thing they notice, the pictures on the wall, you see. And then they be coming now to be very old. I would say old, but I guess you could say a little old because I look on the wall now and I see up there Sydney, Australia, and Oakland, New Zealand. Then I look at the year 1985. That's many years ago.
Okay.
And then I look at the last trip I took where I used camera was Hungary, or Budapest. That was in Eastern Europe.
Mm-hmm.
That was in 95, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
And I have Amsterdam, Brazil. Like I look around, I see up above my back of my head now, I see photos of when I was in Hong Kong in 1988. And also on the same wall, there's photos of Brazil in 1988. So in other words, I look up there now, they're many, many years ago. You see, how they stayed. So this the photos, and then for the video, it was amazing because I was in Bangkok one year and had this singing group there from the Philippines, and they were singing songs, and they were asking people from the audience, did he want to come up and sing? And this one guy, he got up there and sang like Elvis Presley, and
okay.
But I said to myself, I know I can do better than that. and so he asked me, and it was a great piano player, and I remember, so I asked him, did he know Misty?
Mm-hmm.
And he said yes. And so I was very relaxed, and I was sitting at the table, had a bottle of beer, and sitting there, and then I did the song.
Mm-hmm.
And the place was packed full of people from everywhere, Japan, New Zealand, I mean, all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
And so I sang the song, and when I finished the song, boy, oh my goodness, you thought a herd of cattle was coming through a farm. So fascinating. I was really impressed that I did it that well. And then I remember this Japanese couple came over from their table and gave me a big bow, and it was amazing.
Wow.
And
wow.
Yeah, that was amazing. And so I said, I need a video. I said I would love to have that on camera.
Right.
So I went and bought me a handycam video, and went back 6 months later, and I went back the second time just with a different group, and they were remodeling the stage, and so the girls singing group was still there, and they asked me, did I want to come up and sing again? So I said, why not? So to go show you from one time to another time. Well, this time, when I got up to sing, I knocked the bottle of beer on the floor, and then I almost stumbled on the new stage.
Well, Joe, when I served in Korea for 16-month tour, and they gave us 2-week R&R, rest and recuperation. I went to Tokyo, Japan, and boy, I attended one of the clubs there, and I thought I would listen to Dinah Washington. You know, I mean, they really get down there in Tokyo. I said, so actually in a foreign country, I mean, they get down too, you know?
Oh, yeah. In fact, I remember when I went to Copenhagen. That was my first trip to Europe.
Uh-huh.
And it was in the middle of the winter. And it was one of the worst winters they had in Europe in 40 years. And so when I was there, I was reading the temperature, and I kept seeing the number 8, and number 5. I said, wait a minute. I said, it doesn't feel like it's that cold.
Uh-huh.
Cold. And so I asked one of the local guys that lived there, I said, temperature must be kind of different here. I said, when it's 8 and 9 in the States, it's really cold. He said, oh. I said, well, you guys have not used the metric system. He said, over here, when you see 8, we're talking about Celsius.
Mm-hmm.
8 Celsius and 6 Celsius and so forth.
Okay.
Oh, I see. So that's when I was exposed to that. And that was in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
That was in Copenhagen. And I said I wanted to go back there someday, so I was very fortunate enough to go back in 03. I went back in 03, and I had the video this time, so that was quite interesting.
Joe,
but, go ahead, I'm sorry.
I'm not going to say the time is really fleeing, and it got away from us. I guess I always tell my guests we have to have a part 2 to continue, because this is very interesting, a very unique program where we're talking with a world traveler, and it's just a new occupation that we hadn't even thought about, you know, that you never retire. This is just your lifestyle. And I was going to ask you about acceptance in these different countries, but you answered those questions by going through your traveling experiences, you know, that you have been well accepted by the people over there. It sounds like you've been more accepted over there than you are in this country.
Well, in some places, it's okay.
Okay.
Now, in Southeast Asia, any place that you go, and also in Brazil, if you go to Brazil, they won't know whether you're a local or not.
Right.
Till you say something.
Okay.
Because the population in Brazil is very black.
Right. Okay, we're going to have to stop here, and I want to thank my audience very much for taking time from their busy schedule this morning to listen to McKinnley Joe Blow, a former Lake Countyan. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for listening to another awareness session on Community Focus. My name is Dr. Waddell Brooks, Sr., your host.